Good morning. Welcome to
Hi, good
today's
morning.
podcast. Thanks for accepting the invitation.
My
Um,
pleasure. Thank you.
I came across your page on Instagram and I wanted to know more because we have artists today everywhere. But
Yeah.
there is a reason why I chose you, and it's going to be evident through the questions. So I would like to
Okay.
know more about you, and for the audience, please introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name is Lakshmi, and my Insta handle is Therapeutic by Lakshmi. The kind of art that I follow is I do a very slow and very unrushed way of creating art, and without really pressurizing myself on trying to exactly recreate something, or just pushing myself to look something exactly like a photograph. So I don't do that. I just go with the flow, and I enjoy the process. I was also working full time in a college for quite a few years. And last year is when I decided to take a break, and I wanted to focus on art full time. I've always wanted to do that. So I
Okay.
thought this would be the right time. And I teach art now, primarily online, and we focus on watercolors. So,
Okay, thanks for that. So I just saw
yeah,
your bio. It says calming art made with heart.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not a professional artist, but I like art,
yeah,
and it is somewhere relatable.
yeah,
So would
yeah.
you just elaborate? How
True.
does
Yeah,
art make you calm? Because today we are living in a fast, I
yeah.
would say very, very hectic. It's made hectic in
Mhm,
some way
mhm,
world.
yeah,
So how would you
yeah.
elaborate that?
So honestly, when I started, initially it was just posting whenever I wanted to. I would illustrate quotes that resonated with me, and I would just keep posting them. That was the page. I mean, that was how the page was functioning initially. And when I started, teaching, and
Okay.
when people say that I'm not a good artist or I can't paint well, I somehow disagree with that statement, because as children, as kids, we've seen all kids paint. Like everyone has used a crayon. I don't think there's a child who has not used a crayon, right? Um, there is a stage where we start believing that we are not good enough. Either it's intrinsic or extrinsic, either it comes within you or it's put in by somebody else, but you start believing slowly that you're not good enough, or the art that you do is not good enough to be framed somewhere, or it's not good enough to be sold, or it's not good enough to be made into a profession. When those things come in, you start believing that you're not good enough, and then somewhere you just stop doing all
Okay.
those, whatever, not just painting, I feel any form of art or hobby. I felt it is not a very elite concept. I wanted art to be made accessible to everyone, even a person who's never held a brush ever in their life. I wanted them to create something and see for themselves that they are able to do it and they will be able to do it. So
Okay.
that was my goal. And somewhere, if whatever they created gives them a sense of achievement, or they start feeling that, okay, this is my own creation, and I should embrace whatever imperfections or flaws come with my creation. When
Okay.
they're able to do that, I feel that's very liberating. And somewhere, this practice helps you calm down, because it's a mindful activity.
Mm.
As you said, there's a lot of information overload. We are like always, surrounded by information. We are doom
Yes.
scrolling. We are wherever you look, there is only information, right? So if you are able to sit with yourself for 1 hour and do some mindful activity, and at the end of it, look at something that you've created, I think that automatically brings a lot of calm in you.
Okay, so from whatever you have been saying, of course, you were
Mm,
into the teaching line. Maybe the medium
mm,
and mode
mm.
just changed. You are a
Yeah.
good listener and an observer as a trainer, as a
Mm,
teacher,
mm,
professor.
mm,
So,
mm.
art brings about clarity of thought. That's what I
Yeah,
believe. Today, we
true.
have professionals from different areas, and most
Yeah.
of them are overqualified, especially in our
Mm, mm.
country, for their job or
Yeah.
whatever they're doing. But still, people say, I can't focus. I have the
Mm,
thought in my mind, I have ideas, but there is no clarity. So, when it
mm,
comes to art being therapeutic, how does art
mm.
help you with focus, with clarity of thoughts?
Yes, it's a very pertinent question because when people start taking the art lessons, right? I don't advocate that from the first class your sessions are going to be very relaxing. No, I think at least for a couple of months you are going to be all over the place, because you are going to think of what brush to take, what consistency to mix the paint in. Is my paper going to dry? Is my color going to dry? Will I choose the correct color? You're going to have all these thoughts when you create. So it's not like how we see a 30-second reel where you play a calm music and, magically a painting is appearing. That doesn't happen initially.
Yes.
For art to be calming and therapeutic and relaxing, it takes a while. It's not that the time is to improve on your technicalities. That's not what I'm meaning. It is the time needed for acceptance,
Mm.
because somewhere down the line, people take time to accept that, this is okay, like what you have done is okay. So you have this urge to overcorrect it and, try to make it perfect and make it look perfect and make it look exactly like your reference. Once you let go of all these expectations that you put on yourself, that is the point where you really start enjoying your art. That is where you start being mindful. Till then, it's not possible for us to be mindful. Till then, we are always engulfed with all these thoughts like, is this going to work? Is this right?
Mm.
Is this wrong? It's a group of three or four, and then somebody displays it. Oh, mine is not looking like hers. My yellow
Mm.
is different than your yellow. All
Okay.
these thoughts come in. This is quite natural. So, mindfulness and getting clarity out of your art is not immediate. It takes time. It takes time for you to accept yourself, accept
Okay.
your style of work,
Mm.
accept that what you create is fine. After that point, I feel it's very liberating. And it definitely gives you a lot of clarity, because sitting with yourself itself gives you a lot of clarity, right? When you just
Mm.
sit with a thought and when you try to just sit with that thought alone without any other distraction, that itself is quite a luxury these days, I feel, because
Okay.
even probably, even when we're reading, we're playing music. So we are
True.
always
Very
doing
true.
multiple activities together. We're not doing a
Yeah.
single activity at a time, right?
Mm.
So I think if we are able to do that for 1 hour, that itself gives us a lot of clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a valid point because today the world
Mm.
pushes you to do or go
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
multitasking, and
Yeah.
to an extent that doesn't help. My question is, do you experience low tide or low ebbs of energy? What do you do at that time? Do you practice art or do you go out? How do you tackle such phases?
Yeah, so it's not like I am always very productive.
Okay.
So there are two things, like when there is a session scheduled, when I have to take a class, and of course, it's not mechanical, right? Like it's not like I put a formula and you get an answer. It's not like that. I have to be completely present with them, and I paint along during the session. It's not like I give instruction. The entire 1 hour, I paint along with them. So if I am absolutely not in the right frame of mind, it is an injustice I'm doing to the person opposite, because they're paying for a session and I don't want to do injustice to the person who has paid for a session, right?
Yeah.
It's not happened quite a lot, to be honest. Maybe couple of times, one or two times, I have faced that, but I have told the person, right? I'm not at my best today. I don't think the output is going to be really good. We can probably reschedule, which has happened very rarely,
Okay.
because I think deep down, we know this is a session, and you um it's a planned session, and probably it's not easy for us to reschedule. So I'm almost able to be present for the sessions. But sometimes when I'm creating for myself, or just for fun, or just for a reel,
Yeah.
when I do that, sometimes it doesn't work. Like probably I've had a lot of sessions that day, and then I sit to record a reel. It would be a leaf, but it's just not coming the way I want it
Okay.
to happen.
Okay.
It happens. But I don't push myself. I
Mm.
just think, okay, this is not my day. I
Okay.
mean, let's not push myself, and because doing very bad work and seeing very bad results is even more demotivating. So I don't want to put myself in that spot and start wondering, what am I doing? Why is this happening? I don't want to put myself. So I don't push myself if I'm feeling low. And it's not art that helps me get back to art sometimes. I do other things, like
Okay.
It could be gardening, or I would just try to rearrange my room, or I would just try to rearrange my desk, or I just go out, eat something nice. Other things that would just, shut me off from
True,
this
true.
mode. And then maybe when I'm relaxed, or I just take a shower or something like that, and then that kind of helps me get back to my zone again. And suppose I don't feel that um, really creative juice flowing out within that deadline, then again it's an injustice, right? So
Okay,
I just take very limited commissioned orders with people who can really give me the time, and
okay,
there's no rush and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I come from a very rushed work, and I also teach a couple of kids. When they see that it's not happening, and sometimes they're upset, so we just I just nudge them to try it a couple of times more, but if not, we just ask them to stop what they're doing and then probably come back to it after they go to play, or after they sleep, or during the weekend, or something like that. I think
okay,
that helps, just cutting off
okay.
for a while.
Okay, that's great. So you've been
Hmm.
training children, adults. You were a
Yeah,
professor
yeah.
also. So when it comes to
Hmm.
adults, there's a lot of
Hmm.
unlearning that's required and then
Hmm.
relearning,
Hmm.
probably. It's
Hmm.
not very
Yeah.
easy. I hope
Hmm.
you'll be able to understand because I'm also a trainer for adults. How challenging is it to make an adult understand that you can learn? Of course, they are here for learning something. But you
Yeah.
mentioned
Yeah.
that sometimes it's all over the place where you are
Yeah.
pushing that adult or the learner to move from the
Hmm.
comfort zone. Try it out,
Yeah.
try the brush stroke. Maybe it's a
Yeah.
line, but you have to sit down and just try
Hmm.
it out. So, how challenging is
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Again, see, everyone comes from a different background,
background?
different upbringing, different lifestyle, and they've all gone through different experiences. So, achievement or success, or, completing a project, all this means different things for different people.
Mm,
For some of them, just showing up for the session itself is an achievement, but for some of
okay.
them, exactly recreating it as it is the sense of achievement, right? So um, it has to be dealt individually, because for some of them, letting go of that perfection is the biggest challenge, which is why I always start with loose florals, because in loose florals, we don't draw, we don't specify where the strokes are. I insist them on, allowing the colors bleed into each other. This is this creates anxiety for many people when they see, like, oh, my green is merging into the red, or my yellow is merging into the orange. For them to be okay with that takes a lot of time.
Okay.
And as adults, they are used to performing, right? They're
Mm,
used to um, giving and producing and being productive. So it also takes a little time for them to be okay with, something which is out of proportion, or something that's
okay.
not in order, or
Hmm.
something that is not up to their expectation. I keep nudging them, or I keep telling them this throughout the session, but not I don't want to push them, because each of them takes a different, everyone has a
Okay.
different timeline. For some it's easy, for some it's difficult. It varies depending on where they're coming from,
Yes.
um, but it happens.
Okay. I don't know whether this is correct, but I think you've taken a risk in your life where you had a full-time job. And
Yeah.
then now you're a trainer. Of course, it takes some time for you to
Mhm.
establish
Mhm.
yourself as an
Mhm.
artist. But still, these are two
Mhm.
different ways of
Yeah.
operating. Not that you
Mhm.
can't teach anything online. We still have people who
Mhm.
believe that you can't teach, you can't take
Mhm.
classes, conduct
Mhm.
classes
Mhm.
online.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
do you have anything to say about that risk you have taken? Life comes with
Yeah.
challenges and risks, but how did you do it? It's not easy.
Yeah. Honestly, it happened very organically. So I had made up my mind that I would, take a break from what I have been doing. That was clear. But I was looking at teaching options online for the same subjects I was teaching in college. So I was looking at finance and accounting, the same subjects. I was trying to do it online because I was at a stage in life where I wanted flexible work hours, and I had some other travel requirements, and so I I was applying at places where I could teach my same subjects but online. That was what I started off with.
Finance and accounting, if I have to interrupt, was it
Yeah,
finance and
yeah, yeah.
accounting? Okay.
So these were the subjects I was teaching in
Mm.
college. Out of the blue, my yoga trainer, she just asked me, like, she wanted to practice art. Will I be able to take few sessions for her? So I said, no, I've not taught art and I don't know how to teach art. I only know to paint, but I don't know how to explain it to another person. She said, it's okay. I can, probably try with you. And I didn't think of it like a course or anything. Initial few sessions, I didn't charge, or I didn't know how to charge, or I didn't want to also, because I was also figuring it out how it's going to happen. After a few sessions, she said, this is good and I'm able to understand what you're saying, and you're able to make me paint. So why not we started like proper sessions? And by then a couple of others also through Instagram, they approached me, and they were also known people. This happened around March, April 2025. And there were like three, four of them during that month. Um,
Okay.
and till date, I've not had to advertise that I'm teaching. It happened absolutely organic. July, right? So it's almost, yeah, 12, 15, 16 months now. Now we are, I think we are a community of 120, 125
Okay.
people,
Okay.
mm, who are learning with me. And I think, I meet around 100, people every month. So it's
Right.
it's crazy. People from different time zones, and they would bring in their kids also. They would bring their
Okay.
husbands also. So it just grew in my community. They've been really kind. They are, my advertisements.
Okay, that's great.
I, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, so your session speaks for itself. And I
yeah,
think the need of the hour is to calm
mm,
down, and art really helps. The only
yeah,
problem is people think that you can't do it, we can't do it. So that was the
mm,
end of the session. Do you have anything to
yeah,
tell the audience, whether it's children or adults, not as an artist, but as a
yeah, yeah.
mentor?
Yeah, no, I just want people to be kinder to themselves, because it's easy for us to be kind to another person, but it's always difficult for us to be kinder to ourselves. We are not, able to forgive us for our, I wouldn't call it mistakes, but or for whatever we create, dance, music, whatever. Like that really helps us explore a lot of other things. Sometimes when you restrict yourself so much, you are also cutting down on a lot of pleasurable experiences that you could have had if you just allow some silly mistakes, if you just laugh at them and just get up and then continue from there again. Probably you would get more pleasurable experiences than you can imagine. So it's okay if even if you don't want to show it to people, but just for you to see, or you to enjoy. Why not start enjoying all those things that we enjoyed as kids, playing with clay, or scribbling, or whatever,
Yeah, true.
because it's just to bring that uh, that ourself without that inhibition, that really helps.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
I think
Mhm.
always motivation comes from the action, not that
Absolutely.
you allow motivation to enter your mind just like that.
Yeah,
So that's there.
yeah, yeah,
So thanks
yeah.
a lot, Lakshmi, for being a
Thank
part of
you.
this series.
My pleasure, really.
Yeah.
Thank you. All the best.
Okay.
Thank you.